Spring is in the air. The Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds play Game 2 of their 3-game series. The long 10-game homestand continues on a fireworks night. And boy, the Pirates got off on the right track last night, defeating the Cincinnati Reds, the reigning National League Central Division champions. And Steve, it looks as though the offense is starting to come around. Last night, the Pirates banged out 12 hits, and the top 4 guys in the Pirates lineup collected 8 of those hits. So here Starling Marte sets it up for guys like Neil Walker and Andrew McCutchen.
It was great because when your pitching is a little shaky, you've got to get the bats going. They certainly did it last night. Neil Walker, that is as hard a ball as you're going to see get hit, because that ball was about 3 inches away from the shortstop. It was hit that hard.
The Pirates collecting the 4 runs in the second inning, but the Reds came back. They tied it. Then Andrew McCutchen untied it with this home run off J.J.
Unbelievable piece of hitting by Andrew, because at best, many times you can hit that ball in the gap to right center field. He absolutely turned it back around, got the Pirates a lead that they didn't give up.
Tough customer on the mound tonight, Johnny Cueto.
Is he ever, especially against the Pittsburgh Pirates. 12-4 lifetime, a couple of complete games, a 1-hitter in his resume against the Bucks. You're going to have to outpitch him, and you're going to have to play airtight defense, and if you get an opportunity, you got to cash it in.
So outpitch him. That's going to be up to the young left-hander Jeff Locke. He will make his second start of the 2013 campaign, coming off his last start on the road against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Jeff Locke tries to lock down the Reds. Game 2 of the 3-game series coming up next.
Base hit to left field. Brandon Phillips crushes one to dead center. Center field, and base hit. 2 more runs in. It's a 5-1 Pirate lead. McCutchen going back. He leaps. It is gone. And McCutchen hits it well to left field. It is gone. Andrew McCutchen. Got him.
Yeah, he went to the breaking ball. Gutsy call. W for the Bucks.
And we welcome you to PNC Park, where the Pirates and the Reds meet in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Jeff Locke will make his second start of the 2013 campaign. Pirates beat the Reds last night 6-5. Here is the starting lineup for Dusty Baker's Reds. Shin-Soo Choo on deck and getting ready to lead things off. He will be followed by Zach Cozart and Joey Votto. Todd Frazier in the cleanup spot this season. 5 extra base hits, 10 runs batted in for Frazier. Jay Bruce will get the start in right field. He'll be followed by Chris Heisey. Ryan Hannigan behind the plate. Cesar Sturis is at second base, and Johnny Cueto is on the mound. You'll notice that Brandon Phillips is not in the lineup and not with the club currently. Dusty Baker said he is away from the team due to a family emergency. So Jeff Locke will not have to face Phillips, but still fairly imposing Reds lineup.
It is a good hitting Reds lineup, and Jeff Locke making his second start. The one in Los Angeles, his first outing, did not go all that well. If you want to look for any kind of positive, he did work 6 innings, only walked 1 batter. And that is always a plus, especially a heavy hitting lineup. You don't want to put people on base in front of those big bats. And, you know, you're tempted to say, okay, it's the big matchup is Locke versus Joey Votto. Okay, yeah, that is. But when you're out there on the mound, your matchup is against 9 different players. So, you know, you can't really zero in, although it seems like at times from a pitcher standpoint, guys like Votto and the real good hitters come up 8 or 9 times during a ball game.
Check the defense for the Pirates. In left field, Starling Marte. In center, it's Andrew McCutchen with Travis Snyder in right. The corner infielders are Jones and Alvarez, Barmes and Walker up the middle. And Russell Martin catches Jeff Locke.
It is a real challenge for the Pirates tonight because they're going against Johnny Cueto. He has been outstanding against the Pirates in his young career. So take advantage of opportunities, get out in front in the count, keep them off the board. If they don't score, I like our chances.
If they don't score, I like our chances. Remember that one. Garrett Jones last night, first base for the Bucks, hit cleanup and went 2 for 4. Back in the starting lineup once again at first base. And Shin-Soo Choo will lead things off. Choo was 1 out of 5 last night, hitting .350. His first 10 games with the Reds. 3 homers, 6 runs batted in. And the first pitch is past Martin. Now, this will be Locke and Martin teaming up for the first time during the regular season because it was Michael McHenry behind the plate for Locke in Los Angeles. Russell Martin, the veteran catcher. 1-0 pitch. And inside, almost got a piece of him. Already Choo has been hit more than any other player in the National League. He's been hit 5 times. Two and 0.
Good fastball downstairs. Get back into the at bat.
Steve, both Hurdle and Locke agreed that one thing about his last start, he needs to mix his pitches better than he did, and fastball command was a big thing for Clint Hurdle. We're talking about Locke's last start against the Dodgers. 2-2.
Well, command is control, and if you've got a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, you better keep it downstairs most of the time unless you really properly set it up to go up after you're throwing some pitches down toward the knees or below that. You can't fool around with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball in the middle of the strike zone. These guys are too good.
2-2 pitch to Choo, and he's on again. Nicked by the pitch. Choo didn't seem to, and that's probably his MO, is to not necessarily rush out of the way. Just got a piece of his jersey and he's aboard. Not real anxious to pull the elbow all the way back. Just clipped the jersey.
Just a very a scratch sound. But that's kind of like a walk. You don't want to give these guys 90 feet free of any charges.
Here's Zach Cozart. And he takes ball 1.
Interesting how the Pirates had the shift on. Was it on Cozart or
last night? You mean?
Yeah.
Well, they had it on Votto for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was not Cozart, but the Pirates did
and Hanahan beat the shift one time. Pitches in the dirt.
Right, and they stopped the shift. They quit it, and the next at bat they didn't use it.
See, pretty much straight up against Cozart, a count of 2-0.
Yeah, I think a left-hand batter, obviously.
Jack Hanahan beat that shift a couple of times. 2-0 count. And now 2-1 for Jeff Locke. Still very early in his major league career. First selection in the second round by the Atlanta Braves in the 2006 draft. Came to the Pirates in the Nate McLouth deal. And he has made just 5 starts here at PNC Park. And if you look at his home and road splits, much better here in this yard. And a balk is called. Sound like Greg Gibson from home plate.
And that is rare. The left-hander gets called for a balk.
Chu now at second and a 2-1 count. So
this is how the world has changed. Usually, back in the day, you used to argue.
Well, you can't argue a balk. Well, you can get tossed.
I think that's such an unnatural move.
Well, you see, the first base umpire did not call it. Hunter Wendell said it was from the home plate umpire, Greg Gibson.
He must have said he was looking at home plate too long.
He calls the balk.
That is so rare. I mean, I've seen a number of left-handers that do a lot more blatant actions than that and get away with it.
Left side, Alvarez, little snow cone, looked to second, on to first. Wondering how Locke would react to, first of all, hitting Chu and then getting the balk called against him after falling behind Cozart, and he gets him to ground to third.
Oh, hit properly for the benefit of the Pirates in front of the runner, so nowhere for him to go. We've settled things down for the moment, but this is that matchup that everybody's going to be aware of. You've got an open base. I don't know how much you want to fool around with pitching around somebody early in the ball game. See how Jeff Locke goes about his business against this real good hitter.
Joey Votto hitting .294. Has drawn 14 walks. And low and away, ball one, not close.
Well, man on second takes the shift away.
.14 walks, leading the National League. Joey Votto. A couple of extra base hits, but there's still a lot of talk about the lack of the long ball. One ball and one strike.
Well, you got to feel with Joey Votto, the long ball will appear, and will appear repeatedly. First of all, because he's that good, and second of all, he plays in a very home run friendly ballpark for 81 games.
Nice base, man.
I had a chance to talk to Joey Votto. Who's going to be on the radio pregame show tomorrow. He's a very articulate young man. I mean, he really is pretty serious about his craft.
And a strike is called, and it's 1-2 on Joey Votto. Jeff Locke throws the strike.
Range Resources strike zone. Right in that gray area. Some you get, some you don't.
One and two with Chu at second. Fastball misses, 2-2. Clint Barmas, the veteran. We're talking to Jeff Locke.
I don't know if you can hear somebody, with the two gloves involved. Can you hear through the
I wonder.
Two gloves?
Second career start for Locke against these Reds. September 2011. He pitched against Cincinnati here at PNC Park, and no decision. 1 run in 4 2/3. 3-2 now. Being very careful. Understandably so, to Votto. 29-year-old native of Toronto, the 2010 most valuable player in the National League. Missed a lot of time last year with 2 knee surgeries. .344 career hitter against Pittsburgh. Joey Votto takes ball 4. So 2 on. And you can tweet us if you'd like to pass along a question or comment. Hashtag Bucks Booth. Pirates on MLB Network with Root Sports Pit Crew. Yahtzee, Bucks Booth. Yahtzee, that's your call, Steve, isn't it?
Yep.
Buck Nation.
A lot of things
Ian
on
Catherine
the screen right there I don't understand. But I understand Yahtzee.
Todd Frazier.
I thought the Red Sox were the only team that had a nation.
No, come on. Bucko Nation, it's everywhere. How would you know anyway? When was the last time you made a road trip?
Going to New York.
I know it. You'll see Buck Nation there. Frazier hitting .333. Did not start last night. Got the rest from Baker and hits this ball the other way. Snyder nearing the line. And out of room. Travis Snyder in right field once again for Pittsburgh. And that short fence comes into play. Todd Frazier had an outstanding season last year. .273, 19 homers. Fabulous rookie campaign, filling in for both Scott Rowland at third when he was injured and for Votto at first when he was hurt.
Remember when Votto went down, everybody was thinking, well, that's the end of the Reds. He's the man, and they're going to collapse and they're going to fade. But they were able to hold the fort.
More than that, Steve. They went 32-16 in his absence.
Yeah.
They had one stretch with Votto out. They won 22 of 25.
Yeah, you get your main man out for 48, 50 games. That's pretty impressive how they rallied around the flagpole. Now this becomes a laboring first inning for Jeff Locke, and we have seen enough of this, haven't we, with starters really throwing a lot of pitches and struggling and laboring in the first inning. That doesn't lend itself to anything good unless you really get it squared away. Trying to work through this tough Cincinnati lineup in the top of the first inning.
1 ball, 1 strike. Fastball misses. 2-1 on Todd Frazier. Toms River, New Jersey native from Rutgers University. 2 aboard, 1 out. Chu hit by a pitch, balked to second. Cozart bounced to third, and Votto drew the walk. And now 2-1 on Cozart. Ground ball to third. A little slide there from Alvarez. Gets 1, and they get 2 around the horn.
Call the doctor.
DP against Johnny Cueto. We'll take a look at the rest of the lineup for Clint Hurdle's Bucks. They have won 3 of their last 4, and the lineup is brought to you by Toyota. Moving forward, Starling Marte, 6 consecutive multi-hit games for the left fielder. Neil Walker next, then Andrew McCutchen and Garrett Jones. Russell Martin will do the catching. Pedro Alvarez at third base. Travis Snyder is in right field. Clint Farmas hits 8 at shortstop, and Jeff Locke on the hill.
Johnny Cueto. He has won 61 Major League games, only lost 46, a great winning percentage, but second in terms of percentage with his record against the Pirates. He's 12-4 in 19 starts. Great work against the Bucks. He will hide the baseball as you see him come all the way back around. The sign goes up, turns completely backwards, and then gives you that good slider right on the outside corner.
Last year, the year before, he started doing more of that Louis Tiant twist, almost facing second base as he whirls around into that wind up.
And it comes back with a sinking fastball. "19-game winner last year." I guess you can assume Marte is going to be on first base for Walker. He's been doing it in the first inning for these early games.
6 straight multi-hit games for Starling Marte.
A lot of first inning action.
Last time the opposition retired him in the first inning, you'd have to go back to the game against the Dodgers on Friday night. Zach Greinke retired Marte, but since then, leadoff hit in the first on Saturday against Clayton Kershaw. A base hit, scored a run against Hyung Jin Ryu on Sunday in LA. 3 straight games he reached in the first against the D-backs. And not this time. Johnny Cueto ends that streak. Cueto registers his 16th strikeout of the season.
He goes off speed, has Starling way out in front. Anything you can do to disrupt the vision of a hitter, the rhythm where he's looking for the ball to be released from, that is a plus for a pitcher. Cueto does it very well. 19 wins, and then that disappointing injury, early in that playoff game.
Yep.
That took him out of the whole deal early.
1 ball, no strikes to count on Neil Walker. 208 career hitter against Cueto. 2 for 4, 2 runs scored last night.
There's so many hard hit balls, but that single just out of the reach of Cozart last night early in the ball game when the Pirates scored all those runs. That ball was really, really hit hard. You know, we see so many balls hit hard and long and home runs and all that. But boy, there's some line drives that are just stung, and Neil Walker did that his first at bat last night. Really great contact.
Broken bat. A drop in for a base hit. Gives up a bat for a hit. He'll take that every time.
Yep. So there's the opposite. Break a bat and you're still on first base.
Neil Walker finally starting to get rewarded from hitting the ball well first week of the season. Nothing to show for it for the most part, but now recently, including his 2 hits last night and his base hit here in the first inning, setting the stage for Andrew McCutchen.
This is the battle of the dreadlocks, isn't it?
Yeah.
McCutchen and Cueto.
Dread the dreads.
And don't dread the Reds.
Ball 1 on McCutchen. 2 homers, 9 RBIs. 250 career hitter against Cueto. 3 lifetime home runs against him.
He needs to dig out that spot right in front of the pitching rubber so he's got something to push off from.
Cueto's last start, he outdueled Steven Strasburg of the Washington Nationals on Thursday. Dusty Baker's Reds won 97 games last year and bounced to third, to second for one, and to first in the dirt, and they call McCutchen out at first base. Greg Gibson, first base umpire, double play. 0-0. They went around the horn. Very close play at first, but you will see here in a moment why the umpires in the big leagues are the very best. Now that's even slowed down. Greg Gibson called him out. This is how close it was, though. I think we'll get a great look on our AGH cam. Look at this.
Ball's in the glove,
how
the
about
foot
that?
Coming down. That's the difference. At first look, it looked like Andrew beat it comfortably.
They're so good, aren't they?
They are. They have been for
Hunter
years.
Wendelstedt, first base umpire. I think I said Greg Gibson. Greg Gibson behind the plate. Hunter Wendelstedt is at first. Alan Porter at second. Jerry Lane at third.
There's a legacy. Harry Wendelstedt, great National League umpire for a lot of years. Also had an umpiring school.
Jay Bruce leads things off. Ball one on the right fielder. Bruce had a hit last night in 4 at-bats.
Well, if Jet Flock can throw that fastball right there all night long, it doesn't have to be too much inside or outside. If he can throw it that low, right at the knees, he'll give you a pretty good ball game. Of course, that's not all he has to do, but when he throws a fastball there, it's good.
Yeah, this breaking ball is lined into the gap in left center field. And Jay Bruce into second base with a leadoff double.
And that curveball is kind of right in the old zone right there, and that's what happens with good hitters. It's the kind of curveball that's a little deceptive because it gets by the batter, the catcher catches it low, but as it's going by home plate, over top of home plate, that ball's right in the sweet spot.
So like the first inning, the Reds have a runner at second with no one out. Here's Chris Heisey. Heisey takes ball one. He hit second last night. Was 0 for 4 with a walk, scored a run. Struck out his first 2 times up against A.J. Burnett, who punched out 8 more and is now 2 shy for 2,000 in his career. 2-0 count on Heisey. Getting most of the playing time now in left field with Ryan Ludwig on the DL.
He'll check down with Mark Berry, third base coach. I would think he'd still be thinking along the lines, trying to push the ball toward right field. Is that Chris Spire?
Chris Spire's coaching third.
I'm sorry. My old opponent with the Giants for a lot of years.
Two and one.
It's been Mark Berry for years at third base for the Reds.
I think he was there last night too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Berry.
Chris Spire.
He could pick it, couldn't he, Steve?
Yep. Good player. Good, very good major leaguer. We were going over some old stories down by the Reds dugout today with memories back to the playoffs against the Giants 1,000 years ago.
Ground ball left side again.
Yeah, I like it.
So the Reds, we talk about how the Pirates need to do all the right things offensively and defensively when given the opportunity and executing. Twice the Reds have had a runner at second base, nobody out, and both times the next man hits to the left side of the infield.
And that ball's down and away. I mean, it's a pretty good type of a situation to push the ball. Get it out there and just get the bat and push it that way instead of rolling over and trying to pull it. And that's the result you get.
Ryan Hannigan, 5 for 9. Takes ball 1. Make that 1 for 23. Ryan Hannigan. I think he must have been looking at Mesoraco. Just counting. And a strike is called. 1-1 on Hannigan. A starting catcher. We got the rest last night in favor of Evan Mesoraco. Runner at second base is Bruce. Inside 2-1.
Didn't miss by much. Tried to go where the glove was, trying to crowd Ryan Hannigan. Just got too far in. This is not one of those situations where the catcher puts the glove inside and you miss outside. That's neither one of them are real good. But if you're going to miss toward the glove.
2-1 on Hannigan.
There it is.
2-2 on the Reds catcher.
When you hit the glove like that, you're going to get the strike call all the time.
Jeff Locke, New Hampshire native, 25 years old, facing the Washington, D.C. native, Ryan Hannigan.
Yes, sir. Oh, come on. Oh, I thought he had it. It looked like a duplicate of the previous pitch. Yeah, just missing outside. You're right. Those umpires are good.
3-2. Locke's home ERA, 7 games, 5 starts here at PNC Park. He has a 3.48 ERA. On his 6 road starts, he's 0-5 with an 8.65 earned run average. And again, a visit from the veteran backstop, Russell Martin. Locke made 3 starts last year here at PNC Park. Faced the Astros, Cubs, and Braves. His 2 other home starts came against the Marlins and the Reds. He also made 2 relief appearances here at PNC Park last year.
Well, yeah, those are the numbers. Not a tremendous body of work, but much better at PNC Park.
3-2 the count. Cesar Asturis on deck. still 3-2. Hannigan had third base last night. Jack Hanahan, who was 2 for 3. I think I started third base and is now 5 for 9 on the young season. Working him in, Steve.
Trying to crowd him. You can see everything's from middle in.
Bounce to the left side.
Thank you very much again.
Might have been the changeup called on a 3-2 pitch after working him in.
You could see Russell Martin move outside after all those inside pitches, looking for something in that neighborhood. Had him out in front, so you have the bat going early, have a tendency to pull the ball.
Something that Hurdle has also encouraged Locke to do. Throw that changeup more, have it in play more often. Cesar Izturis is going to be walked intentionally. He'll face Johnny Cueto. Take no chances here. And Steve, I think maybe this is out of respect for Cueto. I think under normal circumstances, you have your everyday run-of-the-mill starting pitcher out there. You're probably going to pitch to Izturis. He's not a very good hitter.
Yeah,
but with Cueto, you can't afford to give up even a run.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's going to be that kind of a ball game if you do your part, because you know Cueto, there's a good chance he is going to be very difficult.
So it's only the second inning of a 0-0 ball game, and Cesar Izturis is being walked intentionally because Hurdle wants Locke to get Cueto and put a 0 up on this board right now.
Right, so you pick your battles now. So you've put all your eggs in one basket with Johnny Cueto. If you miss him, if you don't throw strikes to him and you lose him, now you've lost the risk, you've lost the gamble, and you got the bases loaded to the top of the batting order. So yeah, this could be a little pivot point in this ball game in the top of the second inning this early. So here's the man you need.
0 for 4 in his first 2 games, career .089 hitter.
This is the kind of guy, situation, you win this ball game, you might look back at this.
There's a strike to Cueto.
Good start. And it's not like Mike Leake is up there, who's a very good hitter. You know, he was a starter for the Reds last night, and he can handle the bat.
If Leake's on the mound and on deck, he's pitching to Izturis.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
But you can't take anything for granted here. Cueto, got to get him. Not a given.
And the thing is, too, now he's a right-hand batter against a left-hand pitcher, and Locke is not overpowering. So you look at the comfort factor when you're a bad-hitting pitcher. This is probably the most comfortable you're going to be. You don't have a flamethrower, and he's a lefty. So number one, you've taken a little fear of the ball factor out that he's a left-hander, and you try to put the ball in play. So Locke's got to prevent that.
Cueto was 6 out of 67 last year, an .090 average with 2 RBIs. And a fly ball to center. McCutchen makes the catch. A leadoff double, and Locke puts another 0 up there.
Here, I'm Robbie Smikowski. Home plate early this morning was a very busy place. The Pittsburgh Pirates held their Pirates 5K home run race. Took place where runners were able to have a little bit of fun, led by Pirate Parrot, getting everything kicked off. It happened on the North Shore. You can visit the results, pirates.com/5K home run. 3,300 runners took place, raising about $90,000 for Pirates charities. And the cool part about this race, if you've ever been a part of it, crossing home plate, that is the finish line. Pirates president Frank Coonelly also took part in the Pirates 5K today. And all in all, a very good day. And there are the medal winners, different winners for different age groups. And it was a good time. So Steve and Greg, while we were watching the inside of our eyelids at 8 o'clock this morning, these people were out running and burning calories.
I was just going to ask you, Robbie, if you were one of those 3,300 participants.
Absolutely no chance.
Okay. Pete Toma was our director. He was there, Steve. He was in the top 5. Top 5 finisher.
Top 5 finisher.
There's a shot to second. A short hop. Jones is retired. Sturris makes the play.
I would expect nothing less from Pete Toma than to be involved in that project. Very impressive. Almost.
That's like the ball that Robinson Cano picked up last night. Turned into a triple play. You and I were talking about.
Bizarre triple play.
First and second, nobody out. Cano tossed to Nix, the shortstop. Stepped on the bag, and instead of throwing to first to complete the double play, they threw to third, had the man in the rundown, and then threw to first for a triple play against the Baltimore Orioles.
Can't you see the headlines in the New York papers? He nixed the opportunity to go to first base. You get 3.
Russell Martin takes 2-0. Picked up his first Pirate RBI last night. He has reached base in 6 of his last 7 games. Two-one count on Martin. 0-0 bottom of the second. Johnny Cueto, 27 years old, listed at 5'11", 217 pounds. That might be a bit gracious. Ball bounced to third. The backhand by Frazier. How about that play? Votto backs up into foul territory. A couple of Canadians.
Yep,
Martin and Votto.
Yep, and Martin almost runs into Greg Gibson, the first base umpire. Nice pick on the backhand side by Frazier. The retreat, and then a lot of things happened on that play. And it wasn't very exciting, just a lot of things.
He's a good first baseman.
Gold
People
Glove
think he's
winner.
the best. Yep.
Very proud of that. Most good hitters, if they receive that kind of recognition, they would just as soon talk about that. Great slider, picking up that outdoor part of home plate.
Alvarez 1 for 3 with a walk last night. Still just 3 for 33 on the young season. Taps this ball to Votto.
Joey Votto does the right thing. Don't involve the pitcher.
Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks.
Our Day Automotive this day in Pirates history. 1963, a young second baseman for the Reds named Pete Rose gets his first career hit. Came off Pirates starter Bob Friend. Just the first of 4,256 career hits for Charlie Hustle. Thanks to Day Automotive, we're going to make your day. Also in that game, by the way, the Pirates and the Reds set a major league record. They're called for 7 balks after baseball increased the enforcement of the balk rule. 7, Steve.
Yeah, and my first roomie in the big leagues committed 4 of them. 4 out of the 7.
Bob Friend, yeah.
One of the great Pirates of all time, Robert Bartmus Friend.
Bucks won that game 12-4, by the way, at Crosley Field that Saturday afternoon, April 13th, 1963. Shin-Soo Choo was balked to second in the first inning, and he takes a strike.
Every once in a while, the umpires will get on that kick. I remember when Jim Gott was here on a Saturday afternoon, they were calling balks all over the place. It seemed like they got a directive from the league or something to tighten up the balk rule.
A broken bat comebacker. The barrel winds up to the backstop.
21 years later, number 4,000 to the day,
huh?
to the day.
Of Jerry Koosman in Montreal's Olympic Stadium. 4,000th career hit.
He doesn't look right in a Montreal uniform, does he?
Koosman didn't look right in a Phillies uniform.
That's true. Good point.
No, but you're right. He certainly doesn't look right in an Expos uniform, that's for sure. We remember when Pete Rose was a free agent. The Phillies ended up signing him, Steve. I don't know if you remember the Galbraith family who owned the Pirates at the time. They were offering him horses.
Yeah, they're going to name a horse after him. And Pete Rose, quite frankly, loves the horses. Don't ever think he doesn't.
The Galbraith family had a number of prize racehorses.
Darby Dan Farms.
Columbus, Ohio. 1 ball, 1 strike on Zach Cozart.
John Galbraith and his son Dan, and you knew Squire, the grandson.
Squire, for a time, was a part owner of the Washington Nationals.
And the Parrot has been the owner of nothing. Well, Jeff Locke, suffering some struggles in the first 2 innings, has found a way to put up 2 zeros and getting the first out here in the third. So you look for him to have maybe a tidy third inning, because he's thrown a lot of pitches. But that's second to the fact that the Reds have not scored.
Not a very good pitch there. 2-2. Cozart bounced to Alvarez in the first after Choo was balked to second. So Locke really held the fort. That's driven deep to left. Marte back and gone. A line drive home run for Zach Cozart, his 3rd of the season. 1-0 Reds. Well, that's the first home run that Locke has allowed this season, but it was a concern. We talked about it a lot last year. He gave up 6 home runs in 34 innings. Rows deep. Now Joey Votto. 1-0 Cincinnati. HGH cam on the Cozart homer. He had 15 last year.
Yeah, we want to get a look at where the pitch was from the back of Jeff Locke. They want it inside, but it's left right in the go zone. That's up just enough in where he just put a real good power swing on it and hits it to the big part of the ballpark over the 383 sign. Just in that power zone.
Zach Cozart gives the Reds this 1-0 lead in the third. And with nobody on there, not really over-shifting Votto. They do have Barmes towards second and Alvarez off the line.
There's another thing about Votto, even against left-handers, he does not give any ground. There are some left-handers that get a little nervous front foot when they face a lefty, because it's coming right at him from that angle. But really, Votto doesn't give much ground at all. Career-wise, over 300 against the left-handers.
Nice little stab there. Hits Votto, 2 outs. On the next Sunday Night Classics, Frank Pietrangelo makes the save in the first round of the '91 playoffs against the Devils, keeping the Pens' playoff hopes alive for the Stanley Cup. Hear from Frank Pietrangelo, Phil Bourque, Bob Airy, Peter Taglianetti, and Paul Steigerwald while you relive this memorable Game 6. Sunday Night Classics, The Save, tomorrow at 8 on Root Sports.
The rebound. There is no rebound.
Ball one on Todd Frazier. Another cool night in the Berg.
A strike on that curveball, but it's not where you want to throw the curveball. That ball was upstairs in a power zone. Sometimes you get away with them, sometimes you don't.
Two and one on Frazier.
You're seeing Jeff Locke and Russell Martin trying to crowd these right-hand batters. Get in on the hands. See how Russell sets up.
Three and one. Jeff Locke was the Pirates minor league pitcher of the year last season as he spent the bulk of the campaign in Indy. Went 10-5 with a 2.48 ERA with the AAA affiliate of the Pirates, the Indianapolis Indians. And he walks Frazier.
Walk number 3. One intentional. Hit a batter. Just missing on that outside part of the plate. Looks to be just a little bit of a snug strike zone, but that sounds like an excuse. Just missing outside.
Jay Bruce lined a double into the left center field gap leading off the second inning. Jeff Locke's breaking ball was lined toward the notch in left center. This hit in the air to shallow center field. And McCutchen, still coming on, will make the catch.
Yep. Misjudged it initially, but then he has the speed to recover.
Medicine injury update. Kyle McPherson at AAA Indy was placed on the 7-day disabled list. Right forearm stiffness. So the Indianapolis rotation a bit short. Phil Irwin is with the Pirates now, and a good possibility that he will start tomorrow to make his major league debut. Tim Alderson called up from AA Altoona to help fill out that rotation. Our injury update brought to you by our friends at Allegheny Sports Medicine, official medical provider of the Pirates. Ray Searage talking there with Jeff Locke.
Sometimes injuries can trickle up as well as trickle down. So McPherson, who is a candidate for the rotation in spring training, getting hurt, that affects things up here. If he's needed, not available, if that indeed is the case.
Snyder hitting .250, 4 hits in 16 at bats. Well, Phil Irwin, if he does go tomorrow, and kind of assume that he will, but nothing official yet. The season 1 start, a 150 ERA. Last year, combined AA, AAA, 7-7, 287 ERA, 21st round pick in 2009. And at times, at spring training down in Bradenton, was really good. He had one relief appearance for Jeff Locke. It was a roller to first. Votto will make this play, toss on to Cueto. It was on March the 11th. He relieved Jeff Locke, and he went 3 2/3 innings against the Orioles. Allowed 1 run on 3 hits, did not walk a batter, and struck out 7. And that seemed to pique the Pirates' interest, because he then made a start 6 days later against the Yankees at McKechnie Field and gave up 6 runs in 2 1/3 innings, and was then sent down to the minor leagues short time after that. What are reasonable expectations for Phil Irwin in his first major league start tomorrow, if that is the case?
You cross your fingers, hope for the best for him. You never know what to. The first major league start, many baseball people will tell you you can't read much into it. There's a lot of nerves, there's a lot of excitement. Just got to wait and see. Hope it works out.
I'm talking earlier today with Dean Trainer at AAA. There's a line drive right at Frazier, who is drawn in. Barnes lines it right at the third baseman, 2 down. But one thing we do know about Phil Irwin, and Steve, we saw this at down in spring training, as Dean Trainer said, his manager at Indianapolis, he's fearless.
Yeah.
He will go at the hitters.
Well, I remember the game you're talking about. We were over in Sarasota doing that game when he came in, and looked very impressive.
Not afraid to go in on hitters, so that's tomorrow. But right now the Pirates down a run, and here is Jeff Locke.
And Cueto just dealing as we expect him to be. He's not the biggest guy out on the mound, only 5'11". Stocky, strong.
Yeah, as we said, that may be a gracious 5'11". Some listed him as short as 5'8", perhaps, but he has, over the years, especially as he was initially playing outfield in the Dominican as a youngster, looked toward his hero Pedro Martinez, another undersized Dominican. Said that that Pedro was his inspiration.
Durable too. I mean, 217 innings last year.
Jeff Locke fouls that one away. He has 1 hit in 18 career at bats. Picked up his first big league hit September of last year. Good night. Pirates go in order for the second straight inning, second K for Johnny Cueto. 1-0 Cincinnati. All your favorite matchups and promotional games is with a Pirates 10-game ticket plan. You choose from 3 pre-selected plans that include all the biggest games, so you can enjoy the year-long benefits, including early access into PNC Park, ticket exchange privileges, bonus games, and much more. To get your 10-game plan, call 1-800-BUY-BUCKS or visit Pirates.com. 10-game ticket plan, that's the way to go.
Hey, Greg, sad day for us veteran fans of comedy. Jonathan Winters, one of the great comedians of all time.
I know he's one of your
passed
favorites.
Away. Yeah, I grew up with him. Yep. In the paper today, just found out about it.
Yep.
He was great. Great. And I don't know if he ever cussed. I mean, he
didn't have to use profanity to be funny.
Pure comedy, yeah.
He inspired Robin Williams and Jim Carrey, to name just a couple.
Yeah, when Robin Williams says he was the greatest, well.
Chris Heisey takes ball 1. Heisey bounced to third in the second inning after Bruce had led off that inning with a double. 17th round pick 7 years ago out of Messiah College, Central PA, Lancaster, Pennsylvania native and Mechanicsburg resident now. Chris Heisey. 2-0. Now 3 balls, no strikes. It's funny how it's okay if you talk up Connecticut. It's okay when Bob talks up Hart High School in California. It's okay if Waynard talks about Carrick High School. But the minute I talk about Mechanicsburg, we get moans in the truck.
Yeah.
Or crickets.
Well, the thing is,
can you explain that for? What is this thing about how everybody else can boast about where they grew up except I cannot? Why?
It's the sacred truck. It's got nothing to do with you.
The sacred truck.
Yeah. When you're in the sacred truck downstairs.
Foul by Heisey. Doesn't necessarily explain.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair.
And I'd say that I think that Tim, though I don't do the games with him, I'm guessing he boasts about the Boston area.
No.
No?
No.
There's a Punxsutawney native.
Mesoraco?
Devin Mesoraco. Broken bat. Roller. And the second baseman, Walker. A nice play. So Heisey has retired another broken bat. Jeff Locke retires the leadoff hitter here in the 4th inning. Faces Ryan Hannigan now.
And Neil Walker had to go a long way over the shortstop position. Gets it done. Was trying to inside out the ball and just couldn't ever. He's trying to get the hands in, and he does, but still gets sawed off. Peanut butter and jam.
Strike 1 on Hannigan. You must love that, don't you?
That's like that long putter they have. They want they want contact on the chest.
I think Hunter Pence did that in the playoffs. The ball ended up hitting the bat like 3 times. Happy birthday to Hunter Pence.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, it was a couple days ago.
No, it was today.
It was today.
Good try, though, Steve. Mm-hmm. Ground ball short. Barmas throws out Hannigan. It is Adam Elmore's birthday today, our producer.
Now, that was yesterday, too.
No, today. He and Hunter Pence share a birthday. How about that?
Happy birthday, Adam. Maybe he can take a ride on the party boat when the opportunity presents itself.
Not a bad idea. Ground ball to third. 3 ground ball outs for Jeff Locke. 1-0 Cincinnati. Pirates baseball, Jason Grilly's long-awaited chance at being a closer has arrived. See more from our mic'd up segment with A.J. Burnett. Recap our plays of the week and much more inside Pirates baseball is presented by Allegheny Sports Medicine tomorrow at 12:30 on Root Sports. Here's A.J. Burnett standing next to Michael McHenry.
And Mr. Grilly doing just fine in his role, 4 out of 4.
I think most of us believed that Grilly could do that. Oh, that ball hits Marte, the bat of Marte, and Gibson's going to call him back. Marte is saying, no, that hit me in the arm, and here comes Clint Hurdle. Well, you could hear it. It certainly sounded like it hit the bat. I got him swinging on that pitch. This looks like what Gibson just said. Well, he's going to ask the other umpire. That's very well done by Hurdle and Gibson.
Very calm request.
I'd like you to, if you can.
We're going to get everybody involved.
Yep. See if anybody has a better view of it.
Yep. Crew Chief Jerry Lane's at third base.
The first base umpire there, Hunter Wendelstedt.
Probably has a better angle other than the home plate umpire. Right-hand batter.
Let's see what they decide. Well, not in agreement, but at least he did check with him.
Okay, let's take a look.
We hit him on the elbow.
That's tough. The bat is laying right on the arm itself. I still couldn't tell.
The Reds get a call here.
It looked like it was underneath the bat on the arm. Okay, that's a definitive look. At regular speed, though, that bat is very close to the arm. It's a judgment call. You don't know if that ball could have come off, just grazed the bottom of the bat.
Liner towards center field, but caught by Chu. Of course, you know, Chu is making the transition from right field to center and has had some really difficult plays the early going this season, but able to handle that line drive.
He had him played perfectly, shading over to right field.
Chu makes the play on the liner by Starling Marte.
These fields are so pristine now. It takes any anxiety about, you know, committing the body down or diving out in the outfield. I mean, it's like a wonderful green mattress out there. You can, make the commitment, take the risk without any concern about getting hurt.
Another broken bat, but this time it's a 4-3 routine play. So talk about Shin-Soo Choo. The Reds really excited about getting what they believe is one of the top leadoff hitters in the game, but they also realize it could be some rough goings out in center field. Earlier this season, Choo lost a couple of plays in the outfield against the Angels, but they figure he's a good enough athlete that he's going to end up being just fine. Dusty Baker has said that.
A set of springs in his glove. Those plays.
Ball one on McCutchen. McCutchen hit into a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play in the first. So far, just one hit against Cueto, and that was the broken bat single by Walker in the first inning.
Do you get any kind of feel, any kind of sense that Cueto and McCutchen, they're not the biggest guys in the world, but they're both very talented. This could evolve into not anything in a negative side, kind of a vendetta, a high competitive vendetta.
There's no doubt that I think that the Reds, some of their actions last year really stirred the Pirates' fire. And you could see McCutcheon, Steve, when he hit that home run last night, that pump of the fist as he headed toward first base, and his reaction to the dugout, a little extra special.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, the background from last year, of course. There's a lot of speculation about what might happen or not happen last night. And nothing did happen.
3-1 the count. This ball bounced foul. Though I still am one that believes, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree with it, that there is still unsettled business. I don't think we've seen the end of it. Even though, you know, a game was played last night, it was a closely contested game. Clint Hurdle has talked about it. We asked him yesterday, and he said, you know, he's talked to a lot of the fans. They've made suggestions. They want us to win, but they've also suggested that we have some other things to do while we're winning. He said, yeah, I get it. Agreed. We'll see how it plays out.
I mean, the fact that he did not deny that the issue is still there, I think that tells you something. And, you know the energy of it goes away because of the time factor. But if you are a teammate, then that's got to remain. That's got to be there in the file somewhere to be addressed at some point.
Now, they're not going to go. I don't see A.J. Burnett or anybody else pulling a Doc Ellis on the Reds, do you? When Doc in 1974 walked into the clubhouse and said, I'm going to hit you, and you.
He said, I'm going to hit everybody. It's not personal. I'm just going to hit everybody till I get thrown out.
A fascinating moment in Pirates history when Doc Ellis said he was going to, and then he tried to hit literally every batter. All four. Jared Hughes. He did his part last year. Remember, he shoved Deanna Navarro, a little dribbler up the first baseline, gave him a little bit of a shove, frustrations. And he and Brandon Phillips had words exchanged. Garrett Jones to the plate with 2 outs and a man on. Out of play. But Doc Ellis ended up hitting what Pete Rose led off that day. He hit him. And then I think it was Joe Morgan hit him next. In fact, he hit him, according to Doc Ellis, in a book that was written in 1989. He said he hit him right in the ribs, Joe Morgan. The very first pitch. Next batter was Dan Dreesen. This ball lined into left center field and a base hit. Andrew McCutcheon. He's going to score on this play. Nick Label will wave him, and this will be no contest. A double for Garrett Jones ties the game at 1. McCutcheon draws the walk. Jones doubles into the left center gap.
And I'll tell you, great job by Garrett Jones. Terrific job. He drives in the run, but what turns the fans on is seeing Andrew McCutcheon turn it into a race, a speed exhibition around the base paths. He gets going, and then it becomes a different gear. This is perfectly placed. No chance. No chance.
We're just talking Shin-Soo Choo, Steve. And that play in center field, the stumble, tried to go into a slide. And with that, no contest. No play at the plate.
Good stuff. 2 quick outs, free pass, double.
Boy, did they need that, the Bucks, huh?
Yep.
Bounce to third. Frazier throws out Martin, but 2-out action.
You got to take advantage of every opportunity. They just cashed one in.
Kicking off tomorrow, Bucks Reds 1:35. Come early. The #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street. You can stay after the game. Kids can run the bases. Plus, the first 25,000 fans take home a Raise the Jolly Roger flag. Thanks to Allegheny Sports Medicine. For tickets, visit Pirates.com. First 25,000 fans tomorrow get a Raise the Jolly Roger flag.
Got ourselves a ball game. Garrett Jones knocks in the first run. Jeff Locke, it hasn't been pretty at times, but he's kept the ball game intact, giving up the home run to Cozart. But other than that, he's wiggled out of a couple jams. He's doing a fine job working into the 5th inning now. Kutch's crew. Always fun to watch him run the bases. First to home, you just see everything he's got. It's fast and it's smooth.
It's like a
it's
thoroughbred,
clean.
isn't it?
It is. Yeah,
the home stretch.
He flattens out. Yeah, flattens out around second base. Gets into that rhythm and it's just looking good.
Johnny Cueto fly to center in the second.
One thing about Locke, you just wonder, because he doesn't throw hard, so maybe there's a little fatigue, maybe turning that ball, maybe he's getting a little downward action, 3 ground ball outs last inning. That can be a good thing for a guy who's not a fireballer.
Ball and a strike. Remember, they walked Cesar Esteuras in the second inning intentionally with Bruce at second and 2 outs to get to Cueto. And then he bunts the ball, and Locke has it to retire Cueto.
Nice idea by Cueto. Nice reaction by Jeff Locke.
Tonight's Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. National League leaders coming into tonight on base percentage. See, the top 2 are Reds, Joey Votto and this man, Shin-Soo Choo. Carl Crawford of the Dodgers, Denard Span, and Gene Segura. Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better.
Well, Votto's always going to have good numbers in that particular category. I'll tell you why after this pitch. Last year, when I talked to him, I brought it up to him, and it was a favorite subject of his. Last year, National League managers voted him #1 in strike zone discipline, and that's Ted Williams stuff. I mean, he never swung at anything that was not hittable, even if it was in the strike zone, and that's a great quality. That's going to get you a lot of situations where you're going to be on base, borderline pitches. You're going to take them. You're going to do something for your ball club. That's high praise from National League managers. MVP, 2010, Joey Votto? And was on his way to a back-to-back situation. He was tearing it up before he tore up his knee.
That's headed up the middle. Nice little stop there. Walker about a 3-hopper to Jones, and wouldn't have had him even if Jones was able to make that pick. With effort from Walker, not much he could do.
Well, he certainly get an A for effort. An A+ for effort.
We had to get rid of the ball quickly. Our AGH cam shows it basically throws that right into the dirt.
Yeah, you just can't get anything on it. It's just your body's going one way and the arm's going the other.
Chu, who stole 21 bases last year and is 1 for 1 this season. Now at first, with Cozart at the plate. Cozart hit his 3rd home run of the season to give the Reds a 1-0 lead. The Pirates tying it in the bottom half of the 4th. It's Locke against Cozart with Chu on at first and Votto on deck. There goes the runner, got a good jump, and it's a base hit into left center field, but Chu didn't read it very well. Not necessarily going to matter. He held up. The ball almost landed on the grass, and it's 1st and 3rd with 1 away. Cozart 2 for 3.
And now you get a matchup. I mean, he's going to get into third base anyway, but it was a little awkward, and he's got the whole play in front of him. The ball's base hit all the way.
Cozart, a couple of hits in this ball game, and the big one, the home run in the third. Now Votto, who has walked and hit a comebacker to Jeff Locke.
And just for clarification, it was the knee injury last year. Had a great year in 11 after the MVP year. Still hit over 300 with good numbers, but last year he was off to a great start. And the knee problems came.
Lined, oh, caught by Alvarez, went up to get it. Ball was spanked by Alvarez, by Votto into the glove of Pedro Alvarez.
And the timing had to be right. The reaction to go upstairs had to be perfect, and it was. Pedro, great play. Oh, here's where it's fun with the AGH camera. And usually the AGH really enhances it, but it's hard to appreciate it because that slows it down. It had to be quick. The reaction had to be the perfect time to go up the ladder.
A chance to get out of it if he can get Frazier.
Well, he has wiggled out of some stuff so far.
There's real speed.
Bang, bang.
2-0 on Frazier.
And I don't know how long Jeff's going to be out there, but he has worked very hard, and he's done a great job of keeping the Pirates in the ball game. They're dead even working in the 5th inning.
Hurdle's not real happy with Greg Gibson these days, the home plate umpire. Now it's 3-0. On deck, Jay Bruce.
Not that they haven't been watching Jeff Locke the entire time he's been out there each inning, but they're going to really start watching closely now. He's in a situation where this could get a little out of hand. He's got 2 outs. This would be a big, big out for him. He's got a long way to come back.
Green light, yeah. 3-1.
And a nice call. Off-speed pitch, maybe thinking he might have gotten the green light. What a great call, by the way. Speaking of great calls, last night, ball game on the line. They go with a breaking ball on a 3-2 count. Jason Grilli gets the strikeout to end the ball game. Great call, great delivery. Pitcher, catcher, working large to put that one to bed.
I guess you could say he struck out 2 batters then last night in the ninth. And there's ball 4 because he had Votto struck out but did not get a call. Ended up having walked Votto to face Brandon Phillips.
Yep.
Now the bases are loaded. Game in the balance at the moment in the 5th inning. And it's Joey Votto. Fred Hurdle going down. Looked like maybe talking to Dave Joust.
Well, you talk about the situation of the ball game to this point. There may be more drama later on, but right now, 1-1 ball game, 5th inning, bases loaded. Jeff Locke needing a huge out against the left-hand batter.
First big strike.
You love to get in on the hands of these big power guys. They love to extend the bat, get the big swing, but it is dangerous territory to come inside. Russell Martin wants it back in there.
Line drive at the shortstop.
Yep, line drive, the Adam ball. Whew, good fortune.
Game remains tied at 1. Good ball game. Shots from the AGH cam. And Pedro Alvarez leads off against Cueto. Tie game. Alvarez grounded out to Joey Votto, his first at bat. Came in a .313 career hitter against Cueto. Ray Searage, Russell Martin, Jeff Locke.
They're conferring while people get up and start warming up in the Pirate bullpen. There's action out there.
There's the lefty. I'm going to make sure that's Justin Wilson. Yes. The righty, Jared Hughes. On the radio side, I had Justin Wilson in the game last night for 2 batters.
You looked pretty good early.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's what got me. He was warming up in the bullpen, and the next half inning, I guess I hadn't obviously paid attention.
See, the computer.
No, it had nothing to do with the computer.
You watch it.
Nothing,
you're watching
nothing to do with the computer. Good try, though, bro.
I'm not your bro, and I'm not your dude.
And Alvarez goes down on strikes. Just the 3rd for Cueto.
Cueto has a very legitimate fastball, but he really pulls the string nicely. He gets a lot of his strikeouts on off-speed pitches. People are out in front. He throws a hard slider. He'll throw a mid-80s, maybe a little bit more than that with the slider, and then he'll go up above that with the fastball. And so he's got a couple pitches that he throws with good speed, and then he'll come back and pull the string.
Steve, you and I were looking at some numbers before the game about the cutter that he's using more often, and now is he hurt?
Yep.
That last pitch, something, Cueto pulled something, obviously.
Well, this is reminiscent of that playoff game.
Yep.
Only that was early.
That was
might have been the first inning.
Game 1 of the series. He left after 1 batter and 8 pitches with a strained right oblique, and now he's
looking at the right arm. If he's looking at his arm at all, well, now they're going to throw a couple pitches. That's a good sign. Or I shouldn't speculate. It could be the rib area. It's over on that side. It is bicep.
And he just threw a warm-up pitch, and he's out of the ball game. I'm surprised
I'll be
honest with you, I'm surprised they didn't even throw a warm-up pitch.
Yeah. They're not going to fool around with him at all.
And when he threw that warm-up pitch, you could tell he was uncomfortable. Wow. Huge blow to the Reds. I don't know the extent of this one, but just the fact that they've got to take him out of this game in the 5th inning. A disappointed Cueto will head to the clubhouse.
Sometimes you can't even pick up what might have caused it. It's inside the arm, inside the elbow, inside the shoulder.
Knew right away. So Dusty Baker will have to call on a new pitcher as Cueto will exit, having thrown 1 pitch to Travis Snyder in the 5th inning. We'll take a look at the new pitcher when we come back. Behind the screen there, Billy Hatcher, his first base coach, leaning up against the railing. Baker goes to his bullpen early, and this is the strikeout, Steve, of Pedro Alvarez. Watch Cueto's reaction.
Pulled the string, and now you see him grimace a little bit. Now he's going to start tugging on the back of that shoulder, back to the bicep, and so first indication, yeah, that's where it hurts, back in there. He is their man. He's their ace, and they will get him out of there.
He goes 4 1/3, gives up a run, 2 hits. A walk to McCutchen that led to the Pirates' game-tying run, the Garrett Jones double. So it's Alfredo Simon, and he will have as much time as he needs to warm up.
Yeah, journeyman right-hander, signed way back in 2000 by the Phillies. He's been all over the place, and then the last couple of years before 2012 with Baltimore, and then last year with Cincinnati. 3-2, 2.66 ERA and 36 trips. Alfredo Simon from Santiago in the Dominican Republic, not all that far from Mechanicsburg. It's just east of Mechanicsburg.
That's hilarious, bro.
Okay, my brother.
Well, you know, it's certainly don't want to see anybody get hurt, especially a guy like Cueto, and you hope for the best because he's fun to watch. Really, he's a great competitor,
and he is so excellent. He is their horse, and he's cooking right along. Mid-season form against what he's done career-wise against the Pirates. It happens. It happens. You had to be aware of the concern they had when they lost Votto last year, and now they're going to have to hold the fort without. Well, we shouldn't get too far ahead of us. It might be something minor to get them out there, precautionary measures, and you might not miss a start, but they're going to be very, very careful. And it would be hurtful.
Steve, on the other side for the Pirates, they're getting good news because this is why they try and all teams do this, try and stockpile as much pitching as they can. Clint Hurdle mentioned today that both the starter Francisco Liriano and the reliever, the veteran Jose Contreras that they signed, Contreras coming off the Tommy John last summer, they are going to pitch for the Bradenton Marauders on Monday. And he said Liriano's up to 3 innings, 50 pitches. Contreras, a couple of innings. Both of those guys relatively close to joining the Pirates.
And when Liriano joins it, he's going to be in the rotation. Bang, right now.
Contreras is going to be probably a late man in that bullpen. We're here, people are raving about what they've seen from Contreras. A look at the road ahead for the Pirates is brought to you by Nissan. Bucks will finish up this series with the Reds tomorrow, but continue the homestand. The Cardinals in for 3, then the Braves for 4. And then the Pirates hit the road again for 4 in Philly, followed by a series in St. Louis and Milwaukee. So pick up your tickets for the remaining games on this homestand. Pirates seeing the best in the division with the Reds and Cardinals, and then maybe the best in the league in the Atlanta Braves for 4. Travis Snyder takes a ball. It's 1-1. Simon inherits an 0-1 count. And that's a ball 2. The Atlanta Braves won again today.
Just 10-1. That's all.
10-1. Off to their best start since the '94 Braves club went 13-1. They beat Washington and Steven Strasburg 3-1.
So Strasburg is running into some hot pitchers. Cueto beat him with a good effort last time out.
Snyder now facing Alfredo Simon in relief of the injured Johnny Cueto. Three and 2. Snyder grounded to Votto his first time. As Steve said, Simon well traveled. Best season in the big leagues last year. Maybe he found a home with Cincinnati at 2.66 ERA. Found out to play. A lot of years in the minor leagues with the Phillies, Giants, Texas Rangers, Dodgers before finally getting a chance to pitch in the big leagues with Baltimore. And they signed him to a minor league free agent deal in August of 2008. His first trip to the big leagues that year. And a shot. Oh, and a stop. Knocked down by Kozar. Gets the ball late to first. Boy, that ball rocketed past Simon, and then the knockdown play by Kozar.
Yep, and he just had trouble getting the ball into his hand after he made a great effort to stop it. Similar to his effort last night. That might have got a piece of the pitcher, but just a little hesitation getting the ball into that throwing position. There it is on the ground. Had to reach back again, and that cost him the out at first base. But another A for effort, similar to what he tried to do last night.
Against Snyder, by the way. Exact, really same type of play. Snyder at first with one out, and the batter Clint Barmas. Pitcher on deck, but a pinch hit. Josh Harrison out on deck to bat for Locke. See if maybe would Clint Hurdle put Snyder in motion during this at bat.
Love to see the Pirates score a run, put Jeff Locke in a position to pick up a win if they could finish it off.
Almost got a piece of Barmas.
Good job tonight from that young man. He worked hard. Just one run given up in 5 innings. And all that extra pitching in the first 2 innings cost him the opportunity to work deeper in the game.
And there goes Snyder. That's exactly what Hurdle had in mind. Opening up that right side of the infield, but Barmas fouled it away out of play. So Hurdle did send Snyder. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Signals conveyed from Hurdle out to Nick Leva. Take a look from the rotunda. Back down the left field line.
One ball, 1 strike. The count on Barmas. One and 2. Barmas lined out to the third baseman Todd Frazier's first at bat. He went 1 for 4 last night. Barmas facing Alfredo Simon, who made 16 starts for the Orioles 2 years ago. One ball, 2 strikes. Into center field, a base hit. Putting runners at first and second.
Didn't get a lot of it, but he got enough to serve it into center field in no man's land. Got the hands in on that, in under the ball, pushed it out to center field.
Snyder at second, Barmas at first, Josh Harrison the pinch hitter. Bats for Jeff Locke, the Cincinnati native. Josh Harrison. Limited action, 1 for 7. Made his first start of the season Wednesday afternoon in Phoenix. Fouled off.
So Jeff Locke goes 5 innings, giving up a run, the home run, 4 hits, walked 4, didn't strike out a batter. And that's when you have to work, when you don't have that strikeout pitch in your back pocket. I mean, everything is action. Every ball is in play. And it creates a challenging evening. But he answered the challenge and did what he could on a lot of pitches.
Simon faced the Pirates 5 times last year in relief, 9 scoreless innings against Pittsburgh on 8 hits. Breaking ball missing, 1-1.
And I'm wondering if that was the pitch that Mr. Hannigan was expecting. 1-1 count. You have a conference. Man on second base. Might have got crossed up.
1 ball, 1 strike. Tie game at 1 as the Pirates bat against the relief pitcher, Alfredo Simon. And that stays up. A breaking pitch to Josh Harrison. 2-1 the count. Looking down at Nick Leyva. Josh Harrison was the most used pinch hitter for the Pirates last year. Makes this one high in the air to right. Jay Bruce will make the catch, and Snyder will tag. He will move up 90 feet. 2 outs.
Now, just in case you're interested, the man on third base, 9 wild pitches for Mr. Simon. So Mr. Hannigan will have to be on alert.
Last year, 9 wild pitches in 61 innings. Now Starling Marte lined out to center fielder Shin-Soo Choo. Last time up, his first at bat, he struck out against Cueto. Snyder at third, Barmes at first. Starling Marte, a couple of natives of the Dominican Republic. Simon for the Reds, Marte for the Bucks. Strike 1, 93 miles per hour.
And Simon from Santiago, which is birthplace of Johnny Cueto.
Starling Marte from Santo Domingo, the Dominican. Simon 31 years old. Marte is 24. Starting his first full season in the majors. Could not hold up. A high fastball at 0-2.
Correct that. Cueto from San Pedro de Macorís.
Which is close to Santiago.
Yep.
Which is really close to Mechanicsburg.
Yep, the Tri-City area.
Oh, 2 pitch. And he fouls off that breaking ball. Well, they got him to chase the high fastball on the previous pitch. Marte could not hold up. See what Simon and Hannigan decide to do on this 0-2 pitch to Marte.
Simon says okay on that sign.
Went with a high fastball, but didn't offer. Marte in 42 at bats this season has struck out 9 times, walked twice. Fired up Bucco fans. 1-2 pitch. Liner to center field. He did it. Marte on a 1-2 pitch. Singles home Snyder to give Pittsburgh a 2-1 lead.
What a nice bit of hitting by Marte. Looked like a breaking ball, and he was able to wait at the last minute. Got out there with the body, but seemed to keep the hands back and was able to have enough strength in the rest of the swing. Yeah, there it is, to just serve it out into center field. He waited long enough with the hands. That's all he's got left. You see the body's not involved at all. A nice bit of hitting.
Starling Marte, it is early. It's just 11 games, but boy, he's been impressive. Gives the Pirates the lead. That is his 5th RBI. Snyder scoring. And Barmes to second, and now it's Neil Walker.
Let's keep it going.
High fly ball to right. Bruce makes the catch. The inning started with Cueto on the mound. He struck out Alvarez, but forced to leave with an injury, and the Pirates score a run on Simon. series in San Francisco. The Reds, Johnny Cueto, left after one batter and 8 pitches with a strained right oblique. So the final pitch of the game he would throw.
Yeah, what's interesting is apparently it pulled a little bit, whatever it was, and he thought maybe he could continue, and it took another pitch to convince him, but
which was kind of like happened here tonight, right?
An exact duplication.
He struck out Alvarez, and you could see on that replay that we had for you moments ago the grimace, but decided to throw a pitch to Travis Snyder.
Strange. He wasn't quite sure both occasions, last year in the playoff game and here, but throwing one more convinced him.
Here's Justin Wilson.
And so, you know what the interesting thing is, at the playoff game, so that gets him out of it. He didn't pitch in the rest of the playoffs. So he's got all winter. You know, you feel like you're all right. Are you all right? You work a game here.
Third game of the season.
Yeah, so he had 2 starts where it was. And now, well, you want to speculate too. Is it the same exact area or somewhere else that the problem is? Will Wilson taking over for Locke, and the Pirates have a 2-1 lead. So Jeff Locke can win it, can't lose it.
Justin Wilson was stellar against the Diamondbacks on Monday.
Total of 4 innings, a little over 4 innings, 4 1/3, and have 4 strikeouts.
And on the Monday night, Steve, he followed Wandy Rodriguez and Genmar Gomez with 3 scoreless innings, faced the minimum. He hit a batter, but got Martin Prado to hit into a double play, throwing the ball in the high 90s. Outstanding control in that outing. Falls behind Heisey 3-1. Justin Wilson appeared in the big leagues with the Pirates last season for a time. He was a 5th-round pick of the Pirates 5 years ago out of Fresno State. It's line foul. And 3-2.
Heisey out in front of that 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Heisey from the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area.
And he struck him out. 95 on the gun.
Upstairs.
We have a tweet here regarding Starling Marte. You can't spell Starling without star. Puts the Pirates ahead with an RBI single. And you can tweet us. Hashtag BucksBooth.
Yeah, we got a fairly long homestand. I think by the end of this homestand, people are really going to enjoy what they're seeing with the Pirates left fielder. I think that's going to be an evolving romance, if you will, between the fans and the Pirate left fielder. He's fun to watch. There's a lot of things that are fun to watch.
We talked, Steve, early last year that the way McCutchen has emerged, and you see the tools of Starling Marte in the not too distant future, you're looking at 2/3 of an unbelievable outfield.
And so ironic, so great. It's the biggest part of the ballpark. You're going to see those 2 guys doing some special things in all that acreage.
McCutchen was asked about that in spring training. He said it took him a while to realize, and he would race to the gap in left center field before Marte arrived. And no bad rap against the other left fielders that they've had here, but you know, he was the guy to go into the left center gap, and now more often than not Marte's there. So he says he can concentrate more on right center.
And both of those guys can outrun the baseball, and that is fun to watch.
And you can see the acreage between McCutchen and Marte. Out in left center field, they'll cover that area.
Little light respite for the fans as 2 mallard ducks came in low and hot across the outfield to get back into the river. I don't know if they want any part of that river. It's running pretty fast right now. Anyway, back to the game.
Well, he walked it. 1 out walk. Well, Steve, ask, and you got him. Huh? What do you think?
I was on it.
You happy?
Yep. Happy.
Who do we credit that shot? Was that Troy? Terry. Well done, Terry. Terry's everywhere.
Well,
you've worked well together over the years.
We've worked a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. Cover the odd and the unexpected.
Cesar Asturis takes a strike. Johnny Cueto left the game with pain in his right triceps, left for precautionary reasons. Asturis, veteran switch hitter, batting from the right side against Wilson. A ball and 1 strike, and now Russell Martin wants to talk things over with Justin Wilson. Parrott sneaking up on somebody again. And Cueto leaves with pain in the right triceps. See him grimace after striking out Alvarez. He continued with a pitch to Snyder. That's when they called out the trainer and Dusty Baker. He would throw 1 warm-up pitch and decided that was enough. Runner goes, and the throw down is going to nail him.
Not even close.
Was that a delayed steal attempt?
I just saw actually the last part of it, and it looked real good from the Pirates' perspective.
Nope, straight steal.
But
looked
not
back
a great quick start with a lot of speed.
Kept looking back, expecting maybe Asturis to be swinging away.
That's playing catch with Martin and Neil Walker.
Wow. That ball sneaks through the right side for Asturis.
Routine ground ball. Finds a hole.
Well, Alfredo Simon walked toward home plate with his warm-up jacket on and realized that would have to be removed before he stepped into the box.
I guess that'd be the opposite of Bob Walk going up to the plate without a bat.
Yes.
Years ago.
Mm-hmm. You're going to need this. How about you, Steve? Any forgetful moments of your big league career?
Well, the closest I came to that, I went into the necessary room in the clubhouse in the 5th inning when I was pitching the game, came out and asked John Hallahan where my hat was. He pointed to my head. So we went on with the ball game. Never forgot any equipment.
No,
You just
forgot that you had your hat on. That's what you forgot.
But
that's not bad.
I had the hat.
Sure you did. John Hallahan, the longtime clubhouse equipment manager. And Simon with a base hit to right off Justin Wilson. And that's unexpected. Alfredo Simon picks up his first career hit. Just 5 big league at bats.
Well, you throw kind of a medium fastball out of way, just guess fastball, you can hit that. That's exactly what he did.
2 on, 2 out. Top of the order, Shin Soo Choo.
I never forgot any equipment, but now at my age and stage, happens most every day. Sometimes you see a hoodie.
That's a first for me. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I guess that's approved by Major League Baseball. Never seen that before. Not a jacket, but a hoodie.
And if you're going to allow it, get something a little stylish. Get some color, maybe, and a few patterns.
So that's not Bill Blass approved?
Nope, not by Bill. Bill's in the box. The designer is no longer with us.
Ball and a strike on Chu. Now 2-1. Chu was hit by a pitch in the first inning. First batter of the ball game, and then balked to second. He was stranded. Broken bat comebacker to Jeff Locke in the third, and an infield hit in the fifth. 2-2 count now. Justin Wilson tries to put Chu away. Reds fans bundled up. Cool night in the Berg. Going the other way and out of play. Two and two on Chu. Justin Wilson, a 25-year-old Anaheim, California native. Tap to the right side. Jones will step on the bag.
Boy, that was an awkward-looking play the minute it left the bat, and Garrett Jones did the right thing. There was no time to make an exchange to the pitcher right there. You got to do it yourself or it doesn't get done.
Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks.
Here in Pittsburgh, the Pirates lead the Reds 2-1, game 2 of their 3-game series. The Pirates won last night 6-5. Jeff Locke started for Pittsburgh, went 5, scattered 4 hits, gave up 1 run. Johnny Cueto started, went 4 1/3, left with an injury, and now Simon, who got the last 2 outs of the 5th after giving up 3 hits, had a run. Pitch that went up and in and now in the dirt. 2-0. Two and one on McCutchen. Walked with 2 outs in the 4th and scored on the Garrett Jones double. Last night a home run that broke a 5-5 tie. Now just towards short. Cozart on to first. One out in the bottom of the 6th inning with Pittsburgh up 2-1. And Simon will face Garrett Jones now. Jones picked up his 4th RBI with that 2-out double in the 4th. A couple of hits last night, his average up to 300.
Now take a look at this. We see this every night, but I'll tell you, that is the most spectacular look from a ballpark in the universe that you will ever see. I mean, it looks like a movie set.
Yep.
And that is your Pittsburgh right there. I mean, that's spectacular. It's absolutely spectacular.
There is not a setting like it.
No, we talk about it every night, and it's okay. It looks that way every night. And this, you can't buy that. It's either there or it's not. And we're fortunate enough to have that.
One and two on Jones. Jones at 274 last year with Pittsburgh. With 27 homers, drove in 86 in his 4th full season with the Pirates. 31-year-old native of Harvey, Illinois. And Simon strikes him out. First K for Simon. We'll have another Root Sports production of the Pirates on MLB Network this coming Wednesday night. Make note of that. At 6:30, the Pens are taking on the Canadiens on our main channel, and you can see a special Root Sports production of your Buccos taking on the Cardinals at 7 o'clock right here on MLB Network. Visit rootsports.com for a channel lineup and more information. 2 outs, nobody on. Missed in on Martin. Martin has grounded out twice to Todd Frazier. Bucks have been out hit 6-5, but lead 2-1 in the 6th. In time call. Martin, his former club, the Yankees, fell to the Orioles 5-3 earlier.
I think it's time for our first look-alike deal of the season.
Sure it is.
Russell Martin, Russell Crowe.
Okay. I've got the home plate umpire Greg Gibson, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham. Wait a minute. How can you be talking to us? You're talking to the parent.
He agrees.
He got tired of the phone ringing and you not answering.
Hold on.
So Russell Crowe, huh? A bit of a stretch, but that's all right.
Leave me alone. I'm calling the parrot. I've got my car phone here.
Your car phone. There it is. Yeah.
It's a smartphone. Don't worry about it. Just smaller than yours.
Well, it's ringing, and he's tired of your act.
As are so many.
Well, how do you like my Lindsey Graham comparison to Greg Gibson?
Not much.
South Carolina senator, you don't like that one, huh?
I told you, Bob Prince told us to not get involved in politics.
That settles that. 3-2.
Okay.
Down on strikes, Martin. The Pirates go down 1-2-3.
On 5 hits, Clint Barmas, one of those 5 hits, his single came in the bottom of the 5th inning, and he's not the only member of the Barmas family to record a base hit today, as 5-year-old Wyatt Barmas, playing for Quaker Valley up there in Sewickley in their little league, recorded his first hit. It was not T-ball, it's coach pitch, and Clint's wife Carla was there at the ball game. They did not get the baseball, so he's going to have to save that for maybe a bigger moment. But when you look at these two guys, it might little Wyatt might have a nice little future here as we get a look at the Barmas family Little League photos. Look at that shot of Clinton, and look at little Wyatt right now. Look how similar they look. We'll have to do some research on who the medics were. Maybe we'll bring you a further report on that, Greg and Steve. But pretty cool stuff, and a nice day for Wyatt Barmas. And his wife, by the way, did send the full video of his first at-bat and his first career and knock of his life.
That's neat stuff indeed, and that's a great family.
Good start to the season.
June 30th, we'll have our Little League night here on Root Sports, and that's a great family. Clint Barmas, his wife Summer, and their 2 children, Wyatt and Whitney. There's a line drive over the head of Alvarez, and Cozart will have 2 bases, leading off the 7th inning.
His 3rd hit.
So Cozart picking things up here.
They got it inside on him, but he got the body out of the way and was able to keep the ball in fair territory. If he doesn't get the body out of the way, he's going to pull that ball foul, but he was able to do it.
There's Joey Votto now with the runner at second base. The Pirates up by 1 in the 7th. Justin Wilson pitched a scoreless 6th, but gave up a walk and a pair of hits. Votto takes ball 1.
How long do you keep Votto contained?
He's walked, bounced to the mound, and lined out sharply to 3rd. Full there.
Got out of the way of the hook. Hook was okay. It was still ironic that you play Votto to kind of pull the ball in the outfield straight away, and knowing he wants to go that way, there's a big gap in left center field. I wonder if he's in this situation trying to move the runner over to 3rd base, so he would try to get out there and take that breaking ball away. See, there's the big gap between McCutchen and Marte. He's been trying to go that way these first 2 ball games.
Saw a story, Steve, from the Cincinnati Enquirer the other day that was talking to a scout or 2 about Votto, and they said everything, he's doing that all the time, going the other way.
Absolutely.
Constantly. He said, this scout said, one of these times you're going to have to start turning on some balls.
Remember, we heard that discussion about I think it might have been Pedro last year or the year before. You know, you like to go the opposite way, but you know, the big boys, don't forget about your ability to hit the ball over the fence. And you mentioned that earlier in the ball game about the fact he doesn't have a home run yet, and the home runs will come.
He missed a significant amount of time last year, but since June 24th, that was his last home run against Minnesota. Did not hit a home run after he returned from the disabled list. He said that earlier that Votto was out after a couple of knee procedures.
Missed 48 games.
And despite that, the Reds went 32-16 in his absence. 3-2 on Votto. And he walked him.
And he certainly did his part in the playoffs too. You know, they weren't in there that long, but 18 at bats, 7 hits, 389. It's just off that outside corner. He just increases his on-base percentage every time you miss like that.
Walked twice tonight, 16 to lead the league.
And now the Pirates got to come up big again. They've been leaving base runners all over the place, and they have escaped. The only damage against them, the home run by Cozart.
Big swing and a foul straight back by Todd Frazier. Jared Hughes was up a couple of innings back. along with Justin Wilson. He just got up again to start throwing. Left-handed hitter Jay Bruce on deck.
Just absolutely love to get a ground ball at somebody right here.
Jared Hughes has some fans out there in the bullpen. One ball, one strike.
Kids get anything. They'll give anything to get close to a Major League Baseball player. Watching them warm up, watching them do anything.
Oh,
nice.
Got
nice
the breaking ball in on a 1-2.
Yep. Drops in nicely. Kind of that backdoor breaking ball starts outside the strike zone, just kind of ducks in, picks up that outside corner.
Frazier fouls that off to the right. And the count remains a ball and 2 strikes on Todd Frazier getting the start at third base tonight. I told you earlier that Brandon Phillips is not in the lineup and was not with the club, at least at the start of the game. Dusty Baker said he had to attend a family emergency. Two balls and 2 strikes.
You got a very dangerous situation now. You got 2 on, nobody out. 2-2 count. You don't want to miss here. That takes you 1 pitch away from loading the bases. So you want to make the kind of pitch now, because then you got to throw. If you miss here, you got to throw the ball in the strike zone somewhere, not try to make a pitch. Go 3-2 with 2 men on, nobody out, then you can't fool around with trying to make your kind of pitch on a corner. You got to throw it. You hate to say throw it down the middle, but you got to make sure it's a strike, and that plays right into the hitter's hands.
2-2 on Frazier with Bruce on deck. Cozart at second, Votto at first. Pirates lead by 1. Nobody out in the 7th, and a 2-2 pitch. He got him. Cozart.
Yeah, he
remains at second, Votto at first as Frazier goes down on strikes.
That was an awkward swing, like he wasn't thinking that was going to be the pitch he was going to get, or even the location he's going to get. See, it's a half swing and kind of a late minute decision, or late second decision to, okay, I'm going to swing, but there's no conviction in it. Convicted.
Now it's Jay Bruce, who was 1 for 3 against the starter Locke, but lined out his last at bat. So he's had actually 3 pretty good at bats so far tonight. Jay Bruce, 2 on, 1 out. And a fly ball to center. McCutchen nearing the track.
They just missed it. Just barely missed it, but that's okay.
Big out. Number 2 in the 7th inning.
He will go back to the dugout and he will tell him, I just missed that ball. Just missed getting it out of here.
And now is Hurdle going to make a move or let Wilson face Heisey? Here's the pitch. Fastball.
That's where those left-handers like to golf the ball, give you that uppercut swing. And we are going to see the change made.
Well, Wilson, a little like Locke in that he worked around, even though he would go just 1 2/3. Pitched around a walk and a couple of hits in the 6th, and we're not done yet in the 7th. But after giving up the double in the walk, he gets 2, and now Hughes coming on.
authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
MLB.TV celebrating 11 years. Join the millions of fans. Subscribe today. Watch every out-of-market game live online and on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere.
Marte Parte.
Starling Marte has been a big part of this Pirates lead at the base hit in the 5th, and now Jared Hughes facing Chris Heisey.
Seeking yet another big out. 6th appearance for Jared Hughes. Got to figure he's going to have a busy season.
Xavier Paul pinch hitting. Former Pirate bats for Heisey. Takes ball 1. Four for 10 early going is Xavier Paul.
With 1 tater.
Chop to the right side.
What is that?
Final out. Jared Hughes gets the pinch hitter Xavier Paul to bounce to first. The Pirates maintain their lead. We're going to keep it right here as the Pirates bullpen looks to do it again, holding on to this lead. 7th inning stretch time here at PNC Park.
And join everyone watching at home as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Pirates lead 2-1. Head to the bottom of the 7th inning here at PNC Park. Game 2 of this 3-game series against Cincinnati. Xavier Paul stays in the game. He's in left field. The Pirates will play these Reds, when all is said and done, this year 19 times. They're just getting started. These two clubs. The Reds, the reigning National League Central Division champions. They went 11-7 against the Pirates last year. 1 ball, 1 strike on Alvarez. He's 0 for 2. Struck out his last time up. This is his first appearance against the reliever Alfredo Simon. If the Pirates win tonight, it would be the first time they beat the Reds in back-to-back games since September of 2011. 2-1.
Going to have to work hard to do it. And Alfredo Simon, you see why they like him, even though he's much traveled. Still a live arm, still 93 miles an hour. That ball jumps out of his hand very quickly. That's the second strike on another 93-mile-an-hour heater.
2-2 on Alvarez. I talked to Clint Hurdle yesterday about Alvarez, this early season slump. Well, he did pick up a hit last night and drew a walk. He said, you know, in spring training he was really holding back his backside, not jumping at anything. There was no direction to his swing. He would hit the ball where it was pitched. He doesn't see that early going of this season. He said he needs to stand tall on his backside. That old adage, Steve, of hit the ball where it's pitched, it's easier said than done. Not jump at pitches.
It is tough. There's just simply not much time.
And Hurdle said that Alvarez needs to start elevating the ball. You see him hitting a lot of ground balls to the right side of the infield.
Pedro has such a big swing. It's tough because guys that don't have a big swing can wait just a nanosecond longer and be quick. And it's hard for him. The power swing is what it is. And it's just a thin line between that good contact and that swing that misses.
Draws a walk. Good start here to the bottom of the 7th as the Bucks look for insurance. Get your seats in the Pepsi all-you-can-eat seats. For just $42, $5 more the day of the game, you get a Pirates ticket plus all-you-can-eat hot dogs, burgers, popcorn, nachos, peanuts, pretzels, ice cream, and soda. And go back for more food and drink as often as you like. Go to pirates.com/all-you-can-eat. Alvarez on to start the bottom of the 7th inning. First walk by Simon. He now faces Snyder. Snyder has bounced out. He hit a one-hop shot towards short. Went for an infield hit. And he scored on the Marte 2-out single in the 5th. Trying to pick up at least an insurance run for this bullpen. It's done such a great job for Pittsburgh. Mark Melanson,
who's been absolutely terrific without getting a lot of headlines about it, but he's off to a good start with his early efforts.
Ball, 1 strike. Joel Hanrahan really rooting for him. He's such a good guy and did such a great job here with Pittsburgh. He was part of that deal that brought Melanson over from the Red Sox, but he was lifted after walking a couple more guys today in Boston's 2-1 win over Tampa Bay. Hanrahan has really struggled.
Was it Wednesday he got knocked around?
Yep. First outing since giving up 5 runs on Wednesday against Baltimore. J.J. Hoover gave up the 7th inning home run last night to Andrew McCutchen. Simon has thrown 47 pitches, and you can bet that Dusty Baker will talk, maybe rave about the job that Simon has done for him and this pitching staff.
Saving arms tonight.
There goes the runner. And a 2-1 pitch. Again, Hurdle has sent a base runner.
That got a piece of Greg Gibson.
Second time tonight that Clint Hurdle has sent a runner.
Chest protector.
The Lindsey Graham lookalike. Going to be okay. And there's Clint Hurdle talking to hitting coach Jay Bell. 25,118 the paid attendance. Two and two. little cue shot off the end of the bat. Stays 2-2 on Snyder, who was a first-round pick of the Toronto Blue Jays, 2006. The Blue Jays had really hoped that he would be the centerpiece of their rebuilding project.
Everybody wondering what it's going to be like for the Blue Jays this year after writing those big checks.
How about Jose Reyes hurt again, out at least a couple months?
Yeah, it is really a headline when these long-term, huge contracts on players, and then those guys get hurt. Watch out. They're huge investments. Zach Greinke out for 8 weeks, 2 months. Reyes.
Sure, you and Tim talked about that last night. Your thoughts about? Did you hear Don Mattingly said that he doesn't think that Quentin should be allowed to play until Greinke returns to the mound?
I don't know. I don't get into that. Every case is an individual situation. Now there apparently is a history with Greinke and Quentin, so that goes into the equation. The equation also includes guys that have their elbows or hands over the inside corner. He got hit in the shoulder, didn't get hit in the head. So it's sometimes obvious. But that scenario, there might have been some balance, on each side as to why he reacted. If he keeps getting hit by the same guy, I can see a reaction.
Tops this one towards second. That will just move Alvarez to second, almost like a swinging bunt. Well, it's been talked about a lot since Thursday when this whole thing
hits him on the shoulder. Now that's usually not cause for concern, but now Quentin was hesitating. Now that gets crazy. But Quentin was hesitating before he went out, and I think, according to the report, that Greinke then said something back at Quentin. So that got Quentin from stopping there, and that's going to result in a broken collarbone as he rubs that up. So, unless I know more about it, but if you keep getting hit by the same guy, that's a situation where go get him. If you think if it throws with no good reason.
Somebody asked Clint Hurdle yesterday before the game, would you instruct your players to do something different than what Greinke did? And he said, you can tell your
Quentin.
Greinke, like Greinke should have run or backed away. He said you can tell a player anything you want, but human nature takes over.
Yeah,
and they're going to act as they believe they should act or react.
And Jim Leland, another manager, said, if you think the guy's throwing you at you on purpose, go get him.
Yeah.
Don't do this posturing and stuff.
Yep.
Go get him. And many times you got to feel that something's going on. That you got.
But Steve, my other question was, how many times? I didn't want to see Zach Greinke hurt. How many times have pitchers really gotten hurt in those situations over the years?
Seldom.
Can you think of any other than
very, very seldom? Nobody gets hurt.
Yeah,
very, very seldom does anybody get hurt.
Double switch. Dusty Baker goes to Greg Gibson, and we'll be back. Pirates looking to add on, runner in scoring position. Pirates on MLB Network this coming Wednesday night. And don't forget, it's another Bucks and Pucks night. 6:30 the Pens taking on the Canadiens on our main channel. You can see a special Root Sports production of your Buccos taking on the Cardinals at 7 right here on MLB Network. Visit rootsports.com for a channel lineup and more information. And a tweet from Dan Potash covering the Penguins. So Bucks up 2-1, Pens up 2-1. The previous button on your remote is about to get a serious workout.
Last channel.
Bucks leading here 2-1. And Derek Robinson comes on to play left field. Xavier Paul was only out there for a couple batters.
Little breathing room here. A little breathing room. Base hit from Clint last time up.
Hoover, the Elizabeth Forward product. Faced 3 batters last night. The home run to McCutchen gave up a Jones double, and then Russell Martin lined out. Alvarez started the inning, drawing the walk from Simon, moving to second on the ground out by Snyder. And toward the line and right, Bruce. Maybe with room, and he held on. A great catch. And did Alvarez, yeah, he tagged and moved to third. As though they were trying to suggest he didn't. Well, yeah, they went ahead and appealed it, but yeah.
Really good play at the railing. Oh, took it off that guy's chest.
So they appealed it, but Alan Porter said that Alvarez did tag. Good looking shot there from their HGH cam.
Grand theft.
Nice catch from Bruce. Jose Tabata bats now for Hughes.
Cameo appearance, but an effective one for Jared. Down goes Frazier.
Tabata with some up and in action. Takes an aggressive cut on the next pitch. Alvarez at third, and now with 2 outs. Tabata facing J.J. Hoover. 2-1. Tabata is 1 out of 14. No walks, 3 strikeouts. He's 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter. And that'll be out of play. Tabata trying to get Alvarez home. It's 2-2. Facing Pittsburgh's own J.J. Hoover. And line toward right center field. And a double for Tabata to bring home the run. An insurance run from third. Tabata doubles into the right center gap.
How about that at bat? After getting knocked on his fanny, comes back up and doubles to right center field. That's a strong at bat. Coming up off the deck.
That's the way to answer.
Yep.
When you get buzzed.
Down and away, goes down and gets it and gives it a good ride. A lot of authority, and that ball just kept running away from Chu.
First ribby of the season for Tabata. It's an extra base hit. His first pinch hit. A big insurance run in from third base. Snyder got Alvarez to second. Starling Marte collected that big hit in the fifth with 2 outs. Went down to kind of one hand, the Alfredo Simon breaking ball.
Hoover gets hurt for the second straight night. What an at bat that was. Maybe that'll get some attention in the post-game conference, I bet, or tomorrow's newspaper.
First pitch, decked him. Tried to set the tone for the at-bat, but Tabata would have none of it. He stayed aggressive at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike on Marte. In the dirt, the block by Hannigan. Here's the first pitch, Steve.
Well, it was enough to get his attention. It wasn't all that close to the head, but something up in that neighborhood is gonna get your attention.
So an impressive at bat for Tabata. Marte looking to bring him home. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Coming into this game, 6 straight multi-hit games for Starling Marte.
I'll tell you, overview this has been a grind, both offensively and pitching, and just trying to get big outs when you need them, getting in jams, getting out of jams, key base hits. Right now it's okay, 3-1, but it ain't over.
That'll end the Pirates' half of the 7th inning. Pedro Alvarez started the inning with a walk against Alfredo Simon, and then Tabata, a 2-out pinch hit double to bring home Alvarez from third. The Pirates lead by 2.
Food you can get here on the East Coast, and here I am out in left center field with some of the newest food items you could find here at PNC Park. This is the Pittsburgh Patty Melt, one of the newest things you can get at Diamond Pizza out here in left center field at PNC Park. This is a pretty big sandwich here. 2 burgers right here, topped with some Swiss cheese, some Thousand Island coleslaw, French fries on marble rye bread. Very similar to sandwiches you would get at Permane Brothers right there. And that's a pretty big sandwich, Greg and Steve. I'm not sure you guys could put this away on your own, but it's a very good sandwich and a very new sandwich, again at Diamond Pizza on left field on the main concourse, accessible to anyone here at PNC Park. One of the many new food offerings you can find should you make your way here and obviously come hungry.
Bet me we couldn't get rid of it.
Yeah, you want to bet? How about some of those late night Permane's places, huh? In the strip.
Just not even fair.
I always used to ask
the sandwiches have no chance.
The sandwiches and the milk was big.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Mark Melancon, he has been big for the Pirates.
That looks pretty good, by the way.
It sure does.
Yep. And Melancon has looked pretty good, too. Spotless so far this year.
His bullpen has been outstanding. Bucco relievers charged with 8 earned runs in their first 32 2/3 innings coming into this game. A 2.14 ERA. Improve upon that tonight so far, with Wilson and Hughes combining for 2 scoreless. In fact, only the Atlanta Braves have a lower bullpen ERA in the major leagues. Ball to strike on Hannigan.
I've been very impressed with the speed of Melancon. Not that I didn't think he threw with decent speed before, but since the season started, he's just been able to get it in there quick. I'm not talking about his time between pitches. I'm talking about how fast the ball gets to home plate.
A Yankee draft pick traded to Houston in the Lance Berkman deal in July of 2010, and then to Boston before last year for Jed Lowry. Two count on Hannigan. Cesar Asturis is on deck. Really ate him up there.
He did. As they say, he got in his kitchen. How come that bat didn't break in half?
Two and two on the catcher of the Reds, Ryan Hannigan. Sharply hit, but right at Alvarez.
Pedro has been required to have some quick reactions at the hot corner tonight. Hear the crack of the bat.
It's the 7th ball hit to Alvarez tonight, so he has been busy over there at the hot corner. Cesar Asturis shows bunt and takes a strike. Asturis found a way to ground a ball between Garrett Jones and Neil Walker in the 6th inning, batting from the right side against the lefty Justin Wilson. First time tonight he's hit from the left side, and he grounds it left side, backhand. Barnes throws a strike to Garrett Jones.
And that is such a good play, and you really can't get enough appreciation because he had to do a lot of things there right, and he made it look easy. That's an above-average play. Past Pedro, now it's all about Barmes. On the backhand side, moving, still moving, throwing at the same time and getting.
He is so good and so blue-collar. Nothing flashy about Barmes. That's why a lot of his plays, Steve, go so unnoticed. You don't see him make unnecessary dives, crazy plays.
And he spoils it.
Yep.
Tight ball game. That's a huge out.
Derek Robinson batting from the left side. Takes a strike. His first at bat. And in on him. And grounded to Alvarez. And this Pirate bullpen has been spectacular in the early going of 2013. Pirates lead 3-1 here at PNC Park. Heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. A grind-out ball game. Johnny Cueto started, went 4 1/3 for Cincy. Was pulled with an injury. Neil Walker had one of the 2 hits against Cueto. Cueto went 4 1/3 before being lifted. Pain in his right triceps. This is Jeff Locke's game to win. He went the mandatory 5 innings. Bucks got him that go-ahead run in the bottom of the 5th. And Starling Marte 2-out single. Here are 2 Pittsburgh natives in the big leagues right now. J.J. Hoover facing Neil Walker. Pine Richland High School product. Walker against the Elizabeth forward pitcher J.J. Hoover. One and 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Clint Hurdle has turned the stove on. The Pirates bullpen looking for some grilled cheese out there. Pirates closer has been perfect so far, 4 for 4 to save opportunities. But the Bucks will look for more here in the 8th. Walker, McCutchen, and Jones against Hoover. Tomorrow afternoon, the Pirates might be looking for a sweep of the Reds. Matt Latos will be on the hill for Cincinnati. We're assuming that Phil Irwin will officially be called up tomorrow and make his major league debut.
Did you say he's in the building?
He is in the building. New rule this year, this taxi squad. You're allowed to bring a guy up. And for 24 hours anyway, he can be out there in batting practice, but cannot dress for the game. Well, last night, Pirates and Reds were tied in the 7th inning, and Andrew McCutchen facing J.J. Hoover. Went down to get the breaking ball. Here they are again. See how Hoover approaches McCutchen. Fastball away. Fly ball to center. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. 2 outs, nobody on. Garrett Jones comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Bucks were trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th when, with 2 outs, Andrew McCutchen walked and Garrett Jones doubled him home. 2-out action tonight for the Pirates. Jones, a 2-out RBI double in the 4th. Marte, a 2-out RBI single in the 5th. And Tabata, the 2-out pinch hit double in the 7th.
Machinery grinding out.
Towards shallow center. And it's a base hit for Garrett Jones.
Another 2-hit night for him.
He was 2 for 4 in last night's ball game. Broken bat, single to center.
Downstairs, just lifts it. Soft serve into center field.
So the hits are now even at 7 apiece. As Garrett Jones collects his second knock. Russell Martin 0 for 3. Couple of ground outs to third and a strikeout. Boy, he goes down and gets right back up.
Maybe a little closer to Russell than the fastball was to Jose Tabata.
Checks, takes, appeal. No, says the first base umpire. That's Hunter Wendelstedt. 2-0 on Russell Martin.
Close to that borderline call area.
Two and 0. Jones at first. Pirates leading 3-1. Bottom of the 8th. Russell Martin delivered his first Pirate RBI last night. First inning single. Center field, Chu nearing the track. So the Pirates don't add on here in the 8th. Time for some grilled cheese. Jason Grilli coming on. A save in the first round of the 91 playoffs against the Devils to keep the Pens Stanley Cup hopes alive. Hear from Frank Pietrangelo, Phil Bork, Bob Airy, Peter Taglianetti, and Paul Steigerwald while you relive this memorable Game 6 Sunday Night Classics. The Save tomorrow at 8 on Root Sports. Here on Root Sports, the Pirates lead 3-1 going to the 9th inning, and it is Jason Grilli
looking for his own version of the save.
So far, he's had 4 of them. Gabby Sanchez at first base, and he is inserted in the 9th spot of the order. Grilli in the 4-hole of the lineup. This is really a neat story. Jason Grilli getting the chance to close for the first time in his career. Pirates re-signing him over the winter to a 2-year contract. Shortly thereafter, they traded closer Joel Hanrahan, and Grilli was handed the job. And strike one at the age of 36. Jason Grilli looking to earn his 5th save, which would match his career high coming into this season.
Starts out this appearance with what he finished up with last night, the breaking ball in for a strike. And then some heat. So you get the appetizer and then you get the main course, which is his fastball.
Well, he struck out the first batter he faced last night, and then this man Chu found a way just to dribble a ball up the middle into center field. Not this time. 3-pitch strikeout.
A little snap on that fastball. Snap, crackle, and pop.
Came to the big leagues in the 2000 year, the Florida Marlins. Now it's Zach Cozart. Hit a home run in the 3rd inning off Jeff Locke. Locke in line to win his 2nd big league game. Oh and 1. Locke made his 12th major league start tonight, went 5, gave up a run. This batter, Cozart, hitting his 3rd home run of the season. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's nice to have that extra run. Don't know if you're going to need it, but it's nice to have it.
Foul back, out of play, 1-2 the count. Sergio Romo of the Giants is the early saves leader in the National League. He has 6. Bounced foul. Stays 1-2 on Cozart.
It makes it tough on a hitter now. He's gotten you to a 2-strike situation with that breaking ball. You know he's got that real good fastball to use when he wants to. Jason has shown the ability to throw both pitches over the plate, and that is tough. You can't sit on another breaking ball because of the speed of the fastball. Right there, it comes right back after the off-speed pitch with a good fastball that Cozart does a good job of staying alive with.
A ball and 2 strikes. Cozart 3 straight hits. Homer, single, double his last 3 times up. This is popped up, shallow right. And who wants it? Gabby Sanchez! Slick play by the new first baseman. Came on defensively here in the 9th.
Yep, it's going to be a foul ball, but still, you get the out. You say, well, if it falls, it doesn't do any damage, but you lose the out. The out's the issue. Awkward little play down in foul territory. It's not that comfortable. Yeah, a little snow coming out of there.
Just off the edge of the glove and held on. Now it's Joey Votto with 2 outs and no one on. Votto.
How do you like that extra run?
Yeah. Votto takes a ball. Now, last night in the 9th inning, he said that Grilli struck out the first man. Chu grounded a single up the middle. Then Heisey grounded into a force play. Votto took a 2-2 pitch that should have been called strike 3. It was not. He eventually walked.
Where was that pitch? Take a look and see where it was.
Just a bit inside. Martin trying to bring it back.
Yep.
Two 2-0 on Votto. There's a strike.
Good placement there, right on the outside corner.
He's missed 3 and 1. And he walked him again. It's the 3rd time tonight that Votto has drawn the free pass. Walked last night against Grilli, and now that brings the potential tying run to the plate. Todd Frazier. Frazier tonight has hit into a double play, walked twice, and struck out.
The question is, with an extra run, do you pitch as carefully to a guy like Votto, knowing one swing of the bat can't beat you? Try to make him earn it. Didn't work out that time. As a result of the walk, you do bring the tying run to home plate.
They'll let that runner go to second. There's a swing and a miss, uncontested.
And now Martin will go out and make sure they're on the same page with the signs. Now that there's a man on second base.
Defensive indifference. Runner at second. 0-1 count on Frazier. Locke started, then it was Justin Wilson. He went 1 2/3 innings. Hughes got the last out in the 7th. Melanson a 1-2-3-8. Now it's Grilli. Another breaking ball. Starts him off with 2 of them, and he's got Frazier now in the hole 0-2, and Frazier doesn't know what to think. You have to think that Grilli is going to try and bring him the cheese now, right?
Yeah, but you know, that's what, you know, it's a cat and mouse. You can go back and say, well, that's automatic what you'd be thinking, so you come back with another breaking ball. It's whatever works right now.
Let's see what
he's got him on a bad spot.
Really would love to finish off with a strikeout. The 0-2. The fastball is popped up and out of play.
And certainly Frazier has to be protecting against the fastball and then try to adjust to anything else. You have to when a pitcher has that kind of speed.
Just in case the Reds have Aroldis Chapman loosening in their bullpen. 0-2 on Frazier.
Shaking Russell Martin up. Maybe he went from the American to the provolone.
Yeah. Pirates have won 3 of 4 coming into this game.
One more out would put them, what, even with Cincinnati? Both at 5 and 6.
Yes. 0-2 pitch. Reaches out and pops it up. Second baseman Walker raised the Jolly Roger. The Pirates have won 2 straight over the Reds and have now taken 4 of 5 as Grilli earns his 5th save in 5 chances. Jeff Locke gets the W. Grind them out win for Pittsburgh.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Last night the pitching was a little shaky, so they had enough offense. Tonight the hitting was a little shaky, so they had enough pitching. That's the way you put a little cluster of wins and little winning program together. Whatever you need to get, you get. If you don't get pitching one night, you hit, and vice versa. So that's the formula for the first 2 games.
And Steve, how about this bullpen? I mean, again, the Pirates are second in the major leagues behind only Atlanta.
You know, and we're evolving into a Major League Baseball scenario where it used to be all about the starting rotation, but now with rotations not going as deep into games as they did maybe 25 years ago, you need that bullpen. And there are times when you're going to need 4 innings. And they got 4 clean zeros up there when they needed to after Jeff Locke departed. So the only blemish, the home run by Kosar. This is an outstanding pitching performance against a good hitting team. Now, Phillips wasn't in there and Cueto departed, so maybe you got some things going for you in that scenario, but you still have to earn it.
Let's go downstairs to Robbie Inspakowski.
Yeah, I got the man who shut the door tonight, Jason Grilli, 5 for 5 in save opportunities. But Jason, 2 series wins, one of them coming against the Reds, a team you know is going to be competing for the NL Central Division title. What does this do to help turn around a slow start to the season for the Pirates?
Every win matters, you know, especially at home. I mean, you guys are awesome, and I love the energy around here. We got to keep this up. You know, this is it's a lot of fun. It's a great ball club over there. We know what they're capable of, and just got to keep out here, come out every night with our best.
Jeff Locke gives you 5 solid surrenders, just the 1 run. Then you got Hughes, Melanson, Wilson, the guys in front of you. What do you have to say about the job they did holding it down?
Pretty good, huh? We got a good squad. I'm proud of these guys, and I'm just lucky that they passed me the baton at the end, and this is fun. I'm having a blast. These guys are every bit as important as no one's bigger than each other here. I mean, we're all rooting for each other. This is great.
5 for 5 in your new role as the closer for the Pittsburgh Pirates. What's this experience like in the short time?
It's amazing. It's freaking awesome, isn't it?
One way to put it.
I'm having fun. I want you guys to have fun too. So let's have fun together. Let's keep winning.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, let's go.
Greg Brown, how about it for Jason Grilli and the job that he did tonight?
He's been tremendous.
He's a fan too.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real. Let's have some fun.
Exactly. He wants
everybody
to fire
have
up
fun.
the town. He wants to bring this team back to its glory days, and Pirates have some veterans that are looking to do just that. And just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Take a look at Starling Marte's big hit. The base hit in the 5th inning. It gave the Pirates a 2-1 lead. Came off Alfredo Simon. RBI number 5. Another hit for Starling Marte. And the Pirates come away with a 3-1 victory. They've taken 2 straight over the Reds for the first time since September 23rd and 24th, 2011.
And how about that at bat for Jose Tabata? I'm gonna remember that one for a little while because he got knocked right on his backside and got up in a ringing double, not a bloop double in the gap, but he just crushed it. So a lot of good things. A blue collar win, hard working, grind out win, pitching and hitting. They got enough of each, and nice.